Good afternoon. I am Tanya Yusuf and you are watching MediaPlex Live at 1. Constable Sarah Wernstein from Crime Stoppers give us our weekly Crime Stoppers update.
The Windsor Police Service Amherstburg Detachment is seeking the public's help to identify a suspect after a home on Hawthorne Crescent was shot at multiple times on Thursday, October 12th, shortly after midnight. Members of the Amherstburg Criminal Investigation Division are investigating and believe this to be a targeted incident. Residents with surveillance or dashcam footage are asked to check for video evidence between 10 p.m. and 11:59 p.m. on October 11th. Anyone with information is asked to call the Amherstburg Criminal Investigation Division, or should you wish to remain anonymous, you can submit a tip by calling Crime Stoppers at 519-258-8477 or online at catchcrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Wernstein.
It is not true that the city of Windsor is going to birds, but they are concerned with them. Dale Kabuki tells us more.
Brock Leclerc sits by the riverside to pass the time before his class. He enjoys the view as well as the sounds of birds chirping.
The noise, they're like the chirps, the sounds, it's a nice background. It's a nice change of pace from all the car noise and all the people and just all the loudness.
The city of Windsor is establishing its bird team to maintain its bird-friendly status that was established in June last year. The bird team is expected to address and mitigate threats to birds, protect and restore natural habitat to increase climate resiliency in the city, and conduct community outreach to educate the public. This, in addition to city's action to neuter 260 cats to mitigate threats, the creation of a master plan to protect and increase birds' habitats, expansion of urban forest canopy, and reduction of plastic waste.
I think the fact that Windsor, Essex is surrounded by water. We have birds all over the place. Point Pelee National Park is a very big bird place where birders go from all over the world actually to look for birds. So I think it's just natural that Windsor is designated as a bird-friendly city moving forward.
Local naturalists, indigenous members, local environmental business owners, and humane society staff are invited to take part. The city administration recommends the working group to work under the Environment and Climate Change Advisory Committee with the Environmental Sustainability Coordinator as the working lead. For MediaPlex News, I am Dale Kabukin.
The city of Windsor has begun holding a bi-weekly ward meeting. Saloni Johan has the story.
The city of Windsor has made grievances communication easier. Ward meetings are being held weekly by your city councillors this October until November to share your thoughts and neighborhood issues that are important to you. Tomorrow, Eddie Salmon will be at Constable John Atkinson Memorial Community Centre in Ward 5 to listen to your concern.
This is an opportunity for the constituent, for the people who live in my ward, and also for other people who live in different wards to come in and ask questions. Maybe some question on their mind. They want to know what is the city's budget, or we want to know why we spend too much or too little on some project. They want to know if we are looking at the taxes, whether to lower the taxes for the average person.
All ward meetings along with times and addresses are also posted on the City of Windsor website at citywindsor.ca. For MediaPlex News, I am Saloni Chauhan.
Halloween is just around the corner, so it's time to pick out a pumpkin. Haley Goebel was at Pepe's Pumpkin Patch with more.
It's October and Pepe's Pumpkin Patch is celebrating pumpkin season. With Halloween 2 weeks away, people in LaSalle are making their way to pumpkin patches. And Pepe's has a large variety of pumpkins to choose from. Co-owner Greg Rushello considers this year's harvest great.
We had quite a wet summer, but the crop came through and we have tons of pumpkins.
And picking pumpkins is not the only thing you can do. During the season, Pepe's offers many family-friendly activities like hay and train rides, a play area for children, and a giant corn maze. Pepe's Pumpkin Patch is open 7 days a week until the end of October. Come pick out your perfect pumpkin before it's too late. For MediaPlex News, I'm Haley Goebel.
Our very own Jesse LaRouche sat down with Mix 96.7 Story Rovers.
Hello, I'm Jesse LaRouche, and today we are spending 3 minutes with Mix 96.7 morning host Tori Ruvers. Welcome, Tori.
Thanks.
First, I gotta ask you, what got you into radio and content creation?
Well, I was at this little place called the MediaPlex studying public relations, and one of my wonderful professors, Rebecca Wright, told me about a media company called Blackburn Radio who was hiring a summer patroller, and I ended up working there doing summer patrol work for, I want to say it was 3 years, 3 summers. I graduated PR, I was doing marketing full-time and whatnot, but I still kind of had the job there doing part-time work. And then right before COVID, one of their morning show co-hosts, she left, and they said, well, we're looking for somebody like Tori. And I was like, well, you guys should ask Tori. So initially I didn't really have any idea to be in radio. Even when I was in school, it was never really a thing. Even when I was working for the company, I didn't really think I would be in radio. And then the opportunity came up, and the company was just always really, really good to me. And I had some other help and encouragement from people within the company, our hosts that I had worked with before. And Jay was also super supportive, and that made that really easy. So it's been 3 years now, and what got me into it was just the love of Windsor and having a little bit of influence, just like a tiny, tiny little bit, and people listening and kind of caring what you have to say. Is kind of anything. Anybody wants that, right? Yeah.
And what would you say are some skills that people trying to get into the industry should focus on really developing?
Yeah, networking. Networking, the ability to talk to people, crowds, but also individual networking. That would be the most important thing. I got the job because of who I knew and how I was able to talk to people. So a lot of people want to talk about the radio technical skills and like the cadence and the flow and enunciation and stuff like that. But I find that that kind of comes later and through practice, and being on air kind of throws you into it. But the technical skills, yes, they're important, but I think more so honing in on what makes you special, why people want to hear what you have to say. Content creation is also something that you have to be able to naturally do. Creativity, even when you don't think you're creative, everybody is creative, so focus on expanding that. And again, networking, like that's truly kind of everything.
Well, you say networking.
Yeah.
You actually have your podcast of your own.
Yes.
I have to ask, if there was one dream guest you could have on your podcast, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. I think people think it would be like somebody huge and famous and something that would just bring so much attention. But the entire point of that podcast is to kind of talk to normal people, just regular people who I think are interesting but don't really get the chance to show it. So it would probably be somebody like the owner of a restaurant locally that everybody loves and knows has an interesting story. Or like, I recently went to this bar. There's a bar in Detroit called Nemo's, and they just have this like crazy backstory and history in Detroit and like sports and all this kind of stuff. So like the owner of that would be cool. I find a lot of people listen to the podcast and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that person even lived in Windsor, but they have such an interesting story. So that kind of thing, which sounds very humble, but if I had to say like something crazy, then Beyonce.
All right.
But she doesn't do interviews, so.
All right. Well, thank you, Tori. We've just spent 3 minutes with the Mix 96.7 host, Tori Roovers. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Here's Joelle Brasworth to talk about an upcoming art show.
This week, there will be an exciting live display of art happening at the Fog Lounge. Local artist Milos Main, also known as Dissociation Dude, is having a reception to celebrate the closing and opening of his artwork at Fog Lounge, cleverly titled A Clopening Show. The doors to the show will open at 9 p.m. with music from local bands Bird's Witness and Strange Creatures beginning at 10 p.m. There will be pieces of art for sale as well as prints and stickers. The exhibition, titled Poignant Lingering, focuses on how trauma can impact people and how that translates back into art. Dissociation Dude's art will be up on display in local music venue Fog Lounge, located at 157 University Avenue. Come on out to the clopening ceremony and pick yourself up a unique piece of art like this one. For MediaPlex News, I'm Joelle Broussard.
And now on to weather. Wednesday, it will be mainly cloudy and 17. Unfortunately, it's going to cool off down to 16 and rain on Thursday. The rain will continue into Friday and Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in again tonight at 5 o'clock p.m. for the MediaPlex Insider. I'm Tanya Yusuf, and you have been watching MediaPlex Live at 1.